Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel one more time again. Today I want to explain problems of Codeforces Round 895 at Div 3. So I want to explain problems A, B, C, and D. So first A. So you have two vessels with water. The first vessel contains A grams of the water and the second vessel contains B grams of the water. So the meaning of the problem, we can use up to C grams of water and make two containers to have equal water. So here, as you can see here, we have two containers. Now first one is A and the second one is B, and there is some amount of water inside both of them. So let it be like this. And we need to make this equal. For example, we can add this here and get some of this. But every time we can use cup, and cup has the maximum capacity of C, and that's given for us. So what we can do here is that we need to first find difference between two of them, to A and B. So to do this we can just subtract maximum minimum from the maximum, so and then divide it by 2, because we can to make them equal we need to take the average of them. And now we know what we have to do with the cup, and after this, having the difference between difference between A and B, so maximum of A and B minus the minimum of A and B. So now we have difference. So with the difference, we don't need all of this. Actually, we need to make it to half of this, and average of A and B. So it's difference divided by 2. So as you can see here in the code, I did the same. And so we have maximum capacity of C, so we'll divide this need by C, and this would be our answer. But we need to print answer as an integer. So for example, if we have 1.1, we cannot say it's 1, it would be wrong. This should be 2, because we cannot get 1.1 if our cup is 1. So here, now as you can see here, to do this I use double. So and I let answer become the long version of this double. In this way, it can be easy to distinguish. If they are 0, we just print help. Otherwise, we print help plus 1. You can do this in other way, but the idea is here. You should do this one. So if you got this, we will move on to the problem B. This is also a good problem. This is kind of math problem. So here, if stop the video and try reading this problem statement and understand what does it mean. So here we'll start from here, and whenever we get into the trap, we have this time SI, and DI is the distance of this trap, and whenever we come to this trap, we have this SI seconds left before this trap kills us. So here we came, and then for example 2 seconds. If we go there, it becomes 1. If we go there, it becomes 0, and we cannot go back. So first of all, we need to subtract 1, because we cannot do extra thing if this we cannot go to the next one, depending on if we have only 1 left. So we need to first subtract 1 from the C, so we get C, and then subtract 1. So now the distance would be till coming to the trap. We can come without fearing that one, and after we come, we need to subtract. We already subtracted 1. Depending on the subtraction, we we can only move to the c divided by 2 two more squares. So depending on this, the maximum value for every query would be the d plus c divided by 2. If we don't if we don't consider c being subtracted by 1, its answer would be d plus the c minus 1 divided by 2. So here, when we are implementing this, we will do this for every query, and here so at first this minimum value would be 1 to the power of 10 to the power of 9, and for every query we will get d and c. The answer we will update every time with the minimum of mn. So we will just output this answer, and this could lead to get our solution to be accepted. So I think C problem was much harder than D, but so let's solve problem C. But if you think it clearly, also C has some meaning. So for example, try reading this problem C. So I'll explain shortly. We have L and R, and we need to choose A and B. That if we add them, it should be minimum L, maximum R, and the GST greatest common divisor should not be 1. So the idea is here that if it is, so let me remove this one here. So as you can see here, if it is less than 4, we cannot do anything. If this R is less than 4, we cannot do anything. So we just simply print as output -1. So otherwise we need to get difference between L and R. Let's go with difference R and L. So if this difference is bigger than 1, if this difference is bigger than 1, so and if or our value is odd, then what we have to do, we will subtract 1. So after subtracting 1, if it is divisible by it's not divisible by 2, so we can just print R divided by 2 twice. So it's R divided by 2, and R divided by 2 would be our answer. So if the difference is not bigger than 1, what we can do is also not that much simple, but is also somewhat simpler. So else, so we will let answer would be 0, it's -1 at first, so we can check at the end if it's -1. So we will go through from 2 to the square root of L plus 1. We can do it to be, if you don't know, right, I used here define it just for to make it shorter. So answer the moment we found that P that L is divisible by, our answer would be P, and we will break this loop. The reason we are checking till square root of L is to make sure that this don't get time limit. So at the end we will check if our answer is -1. The reason we are checking this is that at first we assign it to be -1, and in this segment we don't get -1. So if we don't get anything, we will just print -1. So if that's not the case, if answer has some value, so we'll just print this value and L minus this answer. So after this, we can move on to this problem D. This was some math problem, I believe. I think A&B&C&D was math problem. So here we are given this 3 integers n, x and y. So let's go. We have permutation P of n. So I think you know this permutation of P of n is. So it's written here if you don't know. So here this we need to make sure this starting from the p or the index of x, every time we'll multiply it, add 1 here in the coefficients, and till it is we don't exceed n, and subtract. That's same for y. So while doing this, we know that one thing that would help us to give these pluses the maximum numbers and the minuses the minimum numbers, so we can get the highest possible solution. So it's that simple, but you need to make this up to the formula. So here, as you can see, I made some kind of stations. So at first, we know that we have an x and y. It's explained in this problem statement. So plus, when I say this plus, I mean this number of elements in this first expression. This number of plus is n divided by x, and for minus it is same, n divided by y. But there are some values like this when they intersect. When they intersect, 4 minus 4 is 0, so we don't consider them. So the number of this would be actually LCM of x and y. We use this LCM of x and y, and n divided by this. So, and we call it intersectional all. So this is first. So we put this here, and every time we'll subtract from both of them, we'll subtract this all value, and after this what we have is the number of pluses, this number of values in this sequence that won't intersect with each other. So using this, we can give this all plus maximum numbers added and minus maximum numbers. When I say plus and minus, I mean variables to be subtracted. And when we are doing this, we will go from the end. So, for example, if our plus is here, in the first case, our plus 733, as you can see here, our plus is 2. So when plus it. So for example, if in the first case, this value is 2. When it's 2, we will get 7 and 6 because n was this 7. So n plus 6 is 13. How we can derive formula for this? Here I use this formula, and to derive this formula, we can say the sequence that starts from n plus n minus 1 plus till what? Till n minus this plus minus 1, because as you can see in this our example, this plus minus 1 is 2 and 1 and 7 minus. So this goes until we get n minus plus minus 1. So to add all of these values, the formula n plus. So we'll add first value and the last value. N minus, so plus minus 1, and the number of the sequences, it's plus divided by 2. All of them divided by 2. So this is some mathematics, and here we use this, we will add this, and when it comes to minus, we need to get the minimum ones. So for example, minus is 3, we will get 1, 2 and 3. So it's n times n plus 1 divided by 2. I use this. So if you do this, the answer would be correct. If you didn't understand anything, you can just leave comments. I will try to explain all of them. Goodbye, and subscribe for more content like this.